This is really exciting, and thank you, Marcus, for the talk just before. Myself, a really personal relationship to language, actually. I'm a completely different person speaking English than speaking German, I realized. In my entire career, I've actually just worked in English, so I think that sets the tone nicely. But let's think about brands. Oops, sorry, you actually got to see too much. Think of brands. Think of a brand that you have fallen in love with, that you have a very personal relationship to. And just keep that in your mind for a moment. Might be a sports brand, outdoor brand, something no one knows, but means a lot to you. How does it make you feel? What happens in your head? You know, why do you choose that kind of brand in your life? Why is it that some brands do actually stick more with us than others? Why do we choose one brand over another, even though some brands actually offer less service, less quality, less product benefits? Probably you've thought of a brand that has a purpose, that has a vision, or that has a mission. And it actually seems that brands with a purpose, with a direction, they resonate more with us. But what actually is a purpose? And why is it stickier? It seems with a purpose, we build a relationship to a brand. My personal purpose has actually been to really build brands in life. I really enjoyed that so much for the last 20 years, starting in uni, building little brands up to what I'm doing now. And I really enjoy building brands that make people happy, building brands where people really fall in love with, become loyal fans, genuine fans who stand up for the brand and who become brand ambassadors. But actually really never knew why. And I discovered a book earlier this year, a book that actually is about psychology. And it's about your inner child, and it's about who you are as an adult and why you respond to certain things in life, certain relationships, to your friends, to colleagues, to circumstance in traffic when traveling. And I realized that it actually has to do with our inner child, the way we build relationships to brands and companies, and why we have a need of belonging and community. As a child, when we are little, when we start to walk, we are starting to explore the world. But we are super dependent on our parents to survive, to get food, shelter, to really know where we belong. But we constantly love exploring. You know, little kids, when they start to walk, just take 30 seconds and they're gone. They're just exploring the world. They are disappearing if you don't pay attention as a parent. And so they really, really love exploring. And that's deep in our DNA. At the same time, as a child, you want to feel protected. You want to feel, hey, someone's looking out for me in case something happens. And that's a really, really deep sense of belonging, of feeling protected. And at the same time, with this exploring, we have a need for autonomy, for independence. So if you have parents who are super helicopter-ish and they always try to protect you, put everything out of the way, you cannot actually explore the world, and you feel stuck, and you feel the need of exploring. And at the same time, we as little children are super responsible for the happiness of our parents, you know? Our parents look at us, we smile, and they're happy, and we have built this relationship, and actually we are more responsible for the happiness of our parents as children than we think. So, as adults, we don't need the protection of our parents anymore. We know how to survive, we know how to make money, we know how to navigate, but we still seek a sense of belonging. And The need of community, of belonging, is, as I just explained, really, really deeply grounded in our relationship with our parents. Our parents have been our community when we were little, and they helped us survive. As adults, we still need that sense of belonging, whether it's a gym club, a circle of friends, a community of any kind, whether it's going to startup events. That's a small community, and we feel we kind of belong to it because we decided to go here. So this really, really deep need of community is grounded in our relationship to our parents. And also when you think of it, villages, tribes, thousands of years ago, we needed this kind of circle of protection to survive. Being on your own, super difficult. We're not really made to live lonely. And we're not made to live in solitude. So we really need this human connection to survive. We want to really belong to someone and to something, whether it's a job, an employer, a circle of friends. We need all these kinds of different communities to really survive the world and to not feel lonely. At the same time, we always seek purpose in life and direction. So when you think about it, belonging, in a way, is a degree of love, a degree of being seen. It's when you think of your circle of friends and they don't get back to you, you text them, you see the blue hooks not popping up, you feel like, oh, someone's not loving me. Do I not belong to that circle anymore? So belonging, you can really see as a variation of love. So everybody is really searching for that purpose subconsciously. And that belonging is grounded in our childhood. Now it gets exciting about brands. Okay, come on, yeah. Brands with a purpose, they achieve that subconsciously. They create a community. They create that people become super loyal friends, that people stand in line for days to get a new phone, that you travel the extra mile to go to your favorite coffee shop, that you don't mind paying the extra price for less service because you feel connected to a certain brand. So ask yourself, what is it that you see as your purpose when you build your brand, when you build your company? Is it just a service that can be replicated, that is a copycat? What's your true personal vision of doing something? When you think of the super successful brands who've disrupted the market, they've done that for a reason, for a purpose. And oftentimes, the copycats who just look at the Excel sheets, they don't have that vision, that drive, that inner conviction to do it for a certain reason. So when you think about it, a purpose is your compass for your brand. And without that purpose, you cannot build that true connection to people. People love to be part of community. With that community, you can build true friends, loyal friends, who stand up for you. So it all comes down to love and empathy for your employees, for your team, and for your customers. If you have that connection, if you achieve to build this community, then you're going to have incredibly loyal friends. Coming quickly back to childhood, as children, when we have that responsibility for our parents, we often ask ourselves, am I good enough? Am I being seen? Yeah? Or am I being left alone exploring? Or are my parents in reach so I don't feel afraid? So how is it with brands? Because it all is connected. It's all connected into our biology and our behavior. Why we build strong relationships to certain brands. Do they see me? Do they care? Do they really care and go the extra mile? Successful brands, come on. Now, here we go. Successful brands really have a strong sense of empathy for customers. They love their customers truly and deeply, and they really go the extra mile. They don't just look at the profit, they really want to make a difference. They love you. And to demonstrate this, I want to share a few examples I've come across or have been involved or just loved by myself. There's one company, some of you may have seen them in the UK. It's called Pret a Manger. It's a sandwich chain. And they don't have a loyalty scheme. They don't give out stamp cards to collect, oh, you've now bought your 10th coffee, here's your 11th one for free, thank you. They don't give out voucher codes. Their team is entitled to give out free coffee and free lunch however they feel. If someone smiles at them, hey, have a good day, here's coffee on us. Oh, I really like your shirt, coffee is on us, lunch is on us. And it has turned out you have an incredibly loyal group of friends, group of fans who really stand up for the brand and go the extra mile. And even if something goes wrong, customers don't really mind as much. Another brand that's really interesting from a design perspective, Innocent Smoothies. I don't know who of you has turned around the packaging, but they really make an effort of leaving little notes on the bottom. I mean, you know, it costs extra money for copywriting, for design, for printing, but in our subconscious mind, when we see that, and only if 1 out of 10 customers, out of 100 customers sees that, it makes them smile. It makes them, hey, someone sees me, someone takes care of me, someone loves me. And subconsciously, we connect this with the product quality, with the customer quality, with the care the company might also put into sourcing the right ingredients, looking after their staff. Zappos, another amazing example in terms of customer service. Their customer service phone number, first of all, is on every page on their website. They are not hiding away. You don't have to search, you don't have to Google. You know, there are some telephone companies that took me 30 minutes to find out their phone number to just get hold of them. Zappos really wants you to get in touch with them. 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Another important aspect for building a great relationship is autonomy. Again, think about it as little children, we love to explore the world and we love to discover. That's our degree of independence. That's our degree of being on our own and exploring responsibility for ourselves. So control, freedom, and a degree of autonomy is very important for us in any relationship we have. I'm sure we all have been in relationships, or we get to know someone, we date someone, and the person just texts too often, or wants to see you too often when you just get to know each other. And you're like, oh, you know, my freedom is a bit in danger. And that's actually what happens when you have a certain balance of need for freedom and autonomy. So the degree of control, of knowing where I stand, as in, for instance, often Chinese menus in restaurants are super long, and you're overwhelmed by the choices, you're losing control subconsciously. Or when you cannot move the seat in your airplane, you feel like shit, you know, I'm not really in control of where I'm sitting. Or if you're being told to do something, sit somewhere, you don't feel in control. So that control degree is very important to feel the degree of autonomy as human beings. So I had a personal example with Netflix, signed up with them a couple of years ago, and 3 days before my free period was over, they sent me an email, hey Björn, your free period is about to end, and we'll charge you 10 euros a month. If you want to terminate with us, just click here, and that's it. If you want to stick with us, you don't have to do anything. And by the way, you can still cancel every month. So you have a degree of, I'm being seen, I'm being loved, someone sees me, and have total control of my relationship. Another thing why I personally really started to enjoy Amazon Prime, I know it's arriving. I know it's arriving on time. I know where I can find my invoices for our accounting team. It's always a big thing. And I know what I'm getting. And I know there are no hidden costs. Urban Sports Club has been super successful in recent months and years. It's a gym membership that allows you to go to all kinds of different gyms and you can cancel any time. So you don't have the feeling of, I'm being stuck in something. With all the options we have nowadays, I mean, it's so easy to build companies with all the software we have and all the free tools, and we can travel the world easily and freely. We may not be in Berlin in 6 months' time. So, hey, we are in control of that relationship. Or when you think of office spaces, I personally really don't like to be stuck at my desk. I'm so happy I have a laptop. I don't have a desktop computer, so I can move wherever I want. And likewise, a small desk lamp, it's just a funny thing, but it gives you your personal control of, hey, I can switch my light on and off whenever I want. Oftentimes, I don't even do so. So office spaces that actually allow you to move around freely and to choose your space of working based on your behavior. Do you need a downtime? Do you need to be away for someone? Or do you just need to let your hair down for a moment? And maybe another funny thing, which we've always asked ourselves, why are the best parties at home always in the kitchen? And usually not in the living room. In the living room, you are stuck next to that person. You know, you can't just move around. If you sit up, you might feel like, am I hurting the person? Or the person who's sitting, someone is getting up, oh, he doesn't see me, he doesn't like me, she doesn't like me. And your degree of control, I'm stuck next to this person. Is it going to be boring or not? You know, what's going to happen? Yeah. So it's really difficult seating in living rooms, whereas in the kitchen, you have the degree of autonomy. You can have a conversation here, you can have a conversation there, you can grab a drink, you can say, oh, I'll just quickly, wander off, and you are in control of your relationship with the person, and you're not stuck there, and what's that evening gonna bring me? So think about sharing economies, co-working, co-living, car sharing, bike sharing. You have an incredibly high degree of independence. And you have an incredibly high degree of building a community because you feel like you're doing a purpose. Like car sharing, you're not owning a car, you're freeing up the space of traffic. Co-living, you are actually optimizing living spaces in cities. And it all comes down to how we were raised as children. Because sharing businesses give us the sense of control and freedom and independence. So surprisingly, it's all based on belonging and autonomy. Thank you.
Thanks a million, Bjorn. That was fantastic. I really loved the proactive generosity with the pret-a-manger. It's really brilliant because, of course, the person who is friendly with strangers, no matter what their job, is the same person that will be generous in sharing positive experiences. So it sounds like, apart from the fact that it's just a nice thing to do, it sounds like a brilliant strategy.
Without asking anything back, it doesn't have to be a regular customer. It's like any random person that gets it. If they have a smile on their face, or if you like their shirt, or
and I feel we're moving more and more towards that, and it's becoming more and more necessary. Would you agree, for brands to?
Yes, absolutely. You have to share the love, and you have to show you really care and have empathy for the customer.
So love and empathy for customers and for employees and for your economic ecosystem. To Slido, how do you handle flexibility versus loyalty? How do you handle that?
I believe if you build a truly honest relationship with someone, like we've all sometimes lost sight of our friends, but we are still loyal to them if we had a really good, honest relationship. In terms of subscription services, maybe that's where the question goes towards. It's you have to be generous. You have to let people out, and you have to be like, hey, don't worry. I mean, with Amazon, I had an order which never arrived, and they were like, hey, don't worry. We'll just, we'll believe you, and we'll just credit the whole amount. I mean, that's like true generosity. And just being stuck in all these subscription services, yes, I mean, some people might take advantage of it, and yes, people at Pret a Manger, they also try to get their coffee for free. But hey, they will also talk positively about your brand. So you have to build in that flexibility and the generosity, I believe, in your business model.
So about purpose, because you mentioned that there is no true brand if it doesn't have a clear purpose and you can't connect with people. What's the biggest mistakes you've experienced when people are trying to define that?
It's difficult. Myself a mistake, or
it could be you. It could be something you've observed.
No, I just generally am not a big fan of copycats if they don't have a true personal purpose. You can get inspired by a business model, and then think about your own personal purpose and adjust it to your personal vision. But just a one-to-one copy, I believe, is quite shallow, and it will serve the purpose for the ones who seek a certain service at a certain price, but they will not stand up for you if the relationship gets a bit tricky.
Yeah. Björn, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Warm round of applause, please, for that amazing talk by Björn Welter. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.